Привет! So, something happened with the Caddy. One moment, I'm just gonna fix something. Very recently, I found my old GoPro. So, is the sound better now? Should be better. I forgot to take the microphone on the camera, but hopefully you could hear me. So, something happened to the Caddy, and now I am somewhere between Voss and Bergen, and I will tell you more a bit later. And also hopefully the footage on this old GoPro Hero 3 Black, I think it is okay enough. You will see now. Yeah, so what happened was I was out for a drive. I was going from Bergen and passing Voss, and suddenly the car starts to cough, kind of, just a bit. And okay, I guess it is maybe fuel. And then I check on my on the map on my phone, where's the nearest gas station. Okay, it's just a few kilometers further in the direction I'm already going. But then it just gets worse and worse and worse, and then it stops on the side of the road. Then I start to see if I know anybody in this area, in the Voss area, and I have a colleague, and he was so helpful to actually bring me a few liters of gas. He bought it, and so he filled the tank up on the side of the road, started the car, and it starts on first try, like the first tooth of the flywheel just and then it's running for, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then it shuts off. And it was running all the time. I was just standing besides the car and just talking to my colleague for a bit, and then it stops. The car just died, and then we can't get it to run again. It has fuel, and it was running fine, really fine on idling good, and yeah, it just shuts off. And yeah, I know just to say this, I know the fuel gauge is not working as it should. Before this, it was working, like I could kind of see when I needed to fill up the tank. And also, I usually, every time I fill up the tank, I press like the what is this called? Trip button, you know, the thing that counts. You can reset anytime you want. I usually reset it. It's just a habit, even if it's old on your car. and I know I can drive I can drive 500 kilometers. Fuck. Sometimes are just words, simple words. I just yeah. So 500. I can drive 500 and some more, and it's no problem. Every time I fill up the tank, I still have lots of gas left. But I think the last time before this, I must have driven quite a while and then pressed this restart button, and it must have restarted the counting. So I thought I had a lot of fuel, but I didn't. So, and this is, if you have watched my videos so this has happened before. I also made a previous video about this, and I think the same is happening now. I'm really not familiar with this K-Jet setup, I know the kind of basic of how it works, but how to like search for if you have something failing, where do you start, how does it work? Like I know, at least on this car, if you have any knowledge on the K-Jet engines, because this Caddy has the K-Jet JH engine, if you have any knowledge, please send me a DM on Instagram or write me on Facebook or leave a comment with some information about this, like a link or anything. Like I said, I know the basics, but anyway, the fuel pump is not priming when you go like new cars do, like when you're turning your key around, and on the second step you hear like bzzz, the fuel pump is priming, and then the next one the starter starts the engine. From last time when I was trying to find out what was wrong with the car, I found out that this setup does not prime the fuel pump. The fuel pump is not priming on the second. So I guess, but if anyone knows, please tell me, is this a common issue if you're running the, like in general, K-Jet engine empty of gas, which I now have done twice. I've done it 2 times in my life with this car. No, 2 times in my life. Both have been with this car. So yeah, is this a common problem? And I think the last time what I did was I did a lot of things to try to find out what was wrong. And one thing I did was to give the fuel pump 12 volts. I lifted the car up and gave it like 12 volts to prime. I think that's what I did. And after that it works perfectly. So maybe it's like it needs to have fuel in the whole system to make the K-Jet system works. It's only my guess. Anyway, I have a VR engine. I actually have 2 behind the Golf, and yeah, it would be so much easier to work on those engines than this one, because of the K-Jet system. If it was like, if I had an aftermarket ECU or anything, it would be like a dream to work on. No, but okay, so today's Tuesday. I was actually planning to go on this car meet, which is tomorrow, but I'm not going because I'm not gonna show up in my electric E-Up. So I will spend some time to fix this, the Caddy. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow. Let's start to see what we can find out. maybe fix on the Caddy. The thing I did last time was I lifted the car up and yeah, put 12 volts to the fuel pump, and I think that was about it. So let's try that again, see if it will work. I've actually spent most of the time today to make room for the Caddy to go inside of this space. It's really because we are only renting this space and not like outside of this kind of line. I'm sure the owner is pretty cool. Like, I think I would be allowed to have the car outside for maybe a bit longer, but now I can. Now I know I don't have to rush it as much as I would if the car was not in this like my space where I rent. So it's gonna be really tight there. I've had a S3, like the first generation, in the same space as the Caddy, but the S3 is a bit shorter, so there were more room. But anyway, I think it will work temporarily. I'm not liking this Gateslicks system any more than I did previously. My problem is, well, what I think is the problem is fuel. The engine is not getting fuel. I don't know, like I've said, I don't know the K-Jet system good enough, but I think the problem is that the engine is not getting fuel. I've tried, I did not film this, but I tried to put 12 volts to the pump just to kind of prime the system, but that did not help. It seems like on the K-Jet, it seems like when you turn the ignition off, the fuel pump runs for like second or 1 second or two, and like that's when it's priming kind of. So there should be fuel. Like, I haven't checked if there is actually going fuel from the fuel pump, but like should be. Now I am thinking about, like, is this common? Is it common for people to like get rid of the K-Jet system and put in like aftermarket ECU or anything like that? Because now I'm starting to think about maybe that would be. I will ask. I know a few people who are, I guess, would have a bit more knowledge about these engines, this old system. So I will ask them first. But it's really tempting to engine swap this car. But it's strict rules in Norway about engine swaps, about modifying cars in general compared to most of the rest of the world. Like, and when I mean most, I mean all of the rest of the world. Yeah, maybe, but I really don't want to engine swap because that's gonna be. I want this space to only be for one car, like at the moment, or for a long time. It's gonna be my Golf. Yeah, this space is not meant for someone to have two cars. It's like, but it would be, of course, be possible. But I guess I could take my Golf home, and yeah. Anyway, I don't think I will do it, but it's really tempting to put one of the, like my VR6, or buy another 1.8 and just chuck it in there, because I have this one has all the mounts, like the engine mount is still there in its original place, or buy like, you know, probably not gonna do it. But if anyone watching this actually has some knowledge, or can send me some, you know, documents or links to forums which troubleshoot this issue. Of course, I tried to Google it while I was here before, sitting and thinking about what could be the problem, but It's not so, I don't know, maybe I should do a better job at searching, but yeah, if anyone knew and can give me tips, like you can give me like the most basic stuff, because maybe I've overlooked something. You can either write it in the comments on this video, or you can write it to me on Facebook, which is linked below in the description, or you can send me a DM on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I will read it anyway, wherever you send me, if you have any tips or links to something which might help. I would appreciate it very much. Until next time, lots of love, lots of all of the stuff, the good stuff, and have a good day. Bye.
To the bank, like pedal to the floor, need no brake lights. In the dark, watch it make light. I'm a star, got no stage fright.